You know, I think I made a promise to myself a while ago that I would try to incorporate fun in my day every day. And not every day I can follow this path. And I was going to go work out. But I decided that I'm going to provide you guys some content. And I am kind of in a high energetic mood, so we're gonna counter that with calming meditative music from Avatar. Wonderful show. And yes, it's long and it's repetitive, and you guys will probably get annoyed by it, but that's all right. So here I am, exposed to the world. I made a power play today, and now we need to let it simmer. When you throw your punches, you don't need to beat a dead horse, and you need to stay confident with your decisions. Because if you continue to throw your punches, you're sending the point of weakness to your enemies. Okay. He wants to take it all by himself. We're gonna let Recon try. Remember, we can only behave as well as we're allowed to behave. So when you watch these energies, you have to take in mind that your teammate is an extension of who you are, and to use them and to deploy them as an auxiliary piece of who you are. Because ultimately you are no one without them. Even your opponents. Let your opponents be the ones to make those mistakes. Manifest them making the mistake. Like right there. I opened up the opportunity for both of them to get that ball, knowing full well that I put it on my teammate's side of the 50-50. You know, we talk about 50-40s, 40-40s, things like that. Well, I don't even need to go for this. Don't even need to go for it. Who's playing? No one, apparently. We had the Cancer full moon in Capricorn season, and those are I forget the exact term. Well, they're opposite, right? And so I have been just in a really interesting mood lately. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that my mood, unfortunately, will only be peaked during this time. And I know that after a while, that energy will go away. And I can only move the boat so far. And in this case, you have to you have to understand that everyone has to work on their timing, and just because you want to be the greatest does not mean that you can just get there without having that residual experience to... And I know half of you guys aren't paying attention because I've already lost 2 goals, so I can tell that just by what I'm saying, you guys don't want it to resonate. You find it boring, and I'm not gonna let that stand. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know the energies that circle around me. And I have to trust that my instincts allow me to get to the places that I need to be, and to not be so caught up in the outcome of all of the plays at hand. You know, this game isn't about hurting your opponents. It's about creating that balance with them. You must be a willing participant of defeat. And sometimes that can be expressed in different ways. I want to watch him make that. Okay. Not much has been said this game. You can tell that other players here, I guess this is the morning or maybe even early afternoon time, and you can tell that it's a Monday morning. No one's wanting to go to work, which means they're not willing to be passionate. They want to transition, just like the moon. Mondays are about the moon. They want to transition into the work week. And Mondays are a very bad time to get things done. As far as making a decision, because it's about the relationship we have with the ebb and flow of life. Notice how I don't even have to save that sometimes. And you can tell some people, namely that guy, that guy right there, he was pushing. And the reason why he pushed so hard was because he's trying to make that decision here. And you can maybe tell he might feel like a Capricorn, who knows. We're gonna avoid demos. And there I go for a demo. See my behavior? Transitioning into the week, huh? And there's the first demo. Wasn't a terrible play by that guy. A little high. You know, I knew I could predict where he was going with it. Perfectly acceptable that I accepted the demo there, because that allowed for my teammate to score. Ooh, very nice. I don't know if you guys listen to Spotify or listen to music, but Conley is advertising his music career, and I support that. So you guys should go take a look at him. I'm sure he's got some pretty good music if he's willing to blast that to the world on Rocket League here. There we go. Oh, there you. Who's that guy been demoing me? Was it Conley that's been demoing me? Alright, Conley. I just advertised your music to you. You're gonna give me this win with 1 minute and 16 seconds left. Teammate didn't want to go up for this. Okay, we're running out of time. Really needed that pinch. Nope. Alright. Looks like Conley is gonna make a joke of me today. You're more than welcome to do so, sir. Congratulations. He's a critical hitter. He's not backing down after this one. Okay. Well. What a shot. What a save. Partner coming in to save that ball. What a marvelous play. What am I doing here? Probably forfeiting. We're gonna lose. nice, very nice. Do you feel the energy flow, the friction of that desire that we all share together, which is to find that success? None of this makes sense, guys. I get it. I know. It's a high-level play. It's not your business. Could have gone for a demo here. I'm still going to chase it. And I'm going to chase it again. And one more time. Nope. Now I know what type of teammate I have. Let's still go after this guy, Sam. I'm going after Uncle Sam. Well, hello, Sam. I didn't time that well. Notice how Sam, Uncle Sam here, was able to shake me from that energy. And I get a lot of people who say, nice bump, nice bump. They'll spam that as a joke because you missed your bump. But that's not what it's about. Your energy can affect people even without touching them. Now, I have something to share with you guys, and you're not gonna like it. Not even myself enjoys it. But there's wisdom in all of us. And sometimes you have to be of the right age. Sometimes you need to put your time in order to see what you can get out of it. And sometimes you don't even know what you're going to look like in the next 5-10 years. You're going to be a completely different person than what you expected. And you might even turn into someone you hate. A grand champion knows this. Because even a grand champion will act like a silver sometimes. Now we have Lab Lord, who's making a joke of the situation. He's really throwing me in the bus as best he can. 3 minutes on the clock. It's a little emotional, that's for sure. He sounds like the planet Mars right now. Okay, we're gonna have to give this a little bit more energy here if we're gonna pull off this win. Almost missed my shot. But I set my intentions and my desires out to the universe, and the universe responded. You want it? Stay up on the wall. Could have been a friendly pass, not quite. Remember to keep energetic eyes on my teammate. And that right there is the truth that I wasn't even caring about my teammate. I love how he just left right when that happens too. That's hilarious. The timing of these things are impeccable. Where are we at with the moon? Where are we at with the moon? I love how these guys are chasing as if... Oh my gosh. Alright, it's not happening. He wanted the forfeit, so he just drove it in slowly, knowing that my reaction to deny him the goal would get him that forfeit. Very well played. I mean, I don't think you could have done that any better. You could change a little bit of it, but all in all, not that much. Sometimes I ask myself, when is the appropriate time to be a grand champ? And the truth of the matter is, the very truth is always. A title does not give you skill. And that's something that needs to be known in the world. A title is an inclination of your skill. But ultimately, we are all thrown into this pot of life. And I think that when I've played Rocket League, I've discovered that the most is that there's people of all talents and all skill sets, and to not judge your abilities based off of what other people think. It's just one of those things. Did I save it? Maybe. Watching that energy flow. I don't need to, I mean, I was even delayed. Better players can see that play out a long time before I would. You know, as as uh, as we react emotionally to things, we often lose sight in the play at hand. So when I'm watching a goal play out, my mind wants to see that ball go in the net, and so I will want to predict that. You know, like we're that's why games like soccer are so cathartic. Is you know, it's tied to that primal instinct of watching that movement, and that's something that we're losing in society, and something that we can get back, because we can get back to our roots so long as we practice them, right? And you see how that little foobar, that little mistake I made, helped me almost take a shot at that net. It was beautiful. You know, that's one thing that I give, and I don't know if I solely credit Pisces for this, but maybe a lot of water signs are good at this. I don't know, maybe air too. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, when you're going through your exploration, and some people call this freestyling, and everyone does this in the game. Like, look at what he just did right there. And then he apologizes for it, you know, and it's like that cardinal energy comes out of you, and mutable and fixed, all these energies come out of you, right? And you have to take it for what it's worth. You know, if I'm going to want to fight for that control, that comes at a consequence, you know, and you have to be prepared for it. Almost. Okay. See, like, look at how my energy was like, hey, let's take this high level play, this high level shot that's highly risky, right? And I'm gonna go up the wall, or I'm gonna push this scenario, and we're gonna see what happens. And that is a cause for exploration, you know, like, and you have to send your feelers out. Oh, goodness. Okay. So he's looking for a pass. He doesn't know I even have a little boost here. But yeah, like, a lot of times in Rocket League, instead of like just driving the ball slow, you're gonna be stuck in this energy, right? What is the energy? What is the energy? The energy is like what I was doing right here. When the game is over, you try to keep the ball up, right? That's just like what people do. But that goes to show you that you're demonstrating these low vibrational tactics that everyone in the world gets hooked on them, right? Like, if I am gonna be exposed to life, it comes with the burden of those consequences. And So, like, you go through that exploration. You go through exploration to gather your skill sets without exploring the idea of running around here in Rocket League. I would never learn the angles that are needed to survive, right? Survive the higher level games or whatever like that. So I'm gonna draw that in, and look at that guy. He went for that push, and he didn't need to. And you can tell just by the energy of the field what is going through people's heads. I'm just putting pressure on, trying to get control. Did I get you there? Almost. Oh wow, no way. I mean, it should not have gone in, but it did, and that's some exploration that can be, you know, put into my memory bank, right? But see, that play that just happened out, like if I'm playing Street Fighter and I'm smashing all these different buttons and I just learned a new combo, right? That's what Rocket League is about, learning that new combo, and there's millions and millions of different plays that are coming out. Now, some of them are more common than others. Like, I know that guy was gonna take a shot because, truthfully, that's the energy at play. And if you go to mix up energies, you're going to be more skillful in the long run, but it takes practice, right? It takes concentration and learning, a lot of higher learning. Sometimes it's like these plays that happen will never be heard of again, ever. And that's the huge sacrifice that you make when you get to these higher level situations, is you want to prevent from those anomalies to take place sometimes, or to benefit them in your behavior, in your advantage. But it's like, look at that guy. His low-level brain right there was like, I gotta touch this ball again because that's just what I gotta do. Meanwhile, his opponent has already set up the dialing in. He'd already focused that he was gonna make that push, and if you lose concentration, it'll unravel for you. Look at that. Look at how he's energetically just pushing as hard as he can to try to make that play happen, and his momentum, he was fixed. He got stuck into that cubbyhole of like, this is what Rocket League looks like. Well, what does Rocket League look like? It looks like a whole bunch of things, right? You know, and you sometimes can't expect it if your opponent's not willing to play the same game as you, or you're not willing to play the same game as them. Like incorporating a bump into a speed boost. You know, it's like I've seen RLCS, or what's the anyway, the Rocket League Championships, right? I've watched it maybe a couple times. Ultimately, I don't care about what other people can do. I care about what I can do, right? And I've noticed that in the few times that I've watched, I've seen a lot of goalies. They'll sit above the net because it's a common place to sit, right? or sorry, it's a common place for that ball to so thank goodness I missed that. And maybe that was the play at hand, was like faking touch on that ball. And a lot of people would be like, oh, you're bad, because you didn't even touch the ball when you tried to, and then you're taking control of me. No, you have to, you can't just let all these interactions, like, you have to let the interaction happen. You have to let it play out. You can't just scream at your teammate just cause. You have to see the constant energies that they bring to the table. Otherwise, you're being dull. You are repeating the same things over and over again to try to profit from, people who can't think. Oh, jeez. Oh! Yeah, look at that. So, I don't know, these are just thoughts and rambles, like, I look at things a lot differently because I have been forced to do so because of my position in life. And I think that there are many of you out there who could use this information at a younger age, and I think that the scary part of it is you're going to benefit from the labor that I have done, and I think that that's constantly what society is all about, and what it should be about is folding happiness and joy and learning and all these things on top of each other. Okay, I could have done that a little harder if I wanted, but soft energies, right? I mean, this ain't gonna go anywhere. Watch this. Let's go. Yeah, it's like Ring Around the Rosie from Diamond League. What else? I think that Rocket League is one of the best games out there that you can play, because, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, it's like going into the bar and meeting strangers and having to interpret who they are. If you're owning a company and you are going to hire a whole bunch of people, like I hear from like Elon, like he asks people, what's the toughest problem you've had and how did you solve it? And I think that that's a start, but to know who your teammate is, to know who your opponents are, is more important than information, more important than experience, more important. It's like how do you develop the psyche of someone? How do you maximize their potential? How do you maximize your own potential? And truthfully is we're all these energetic beings, and we need to We need to collide in order to figure each other out. I know generally people in Rocket League play the game. Generally, people in Rocket League play the game. I heard this term, and I'm gonna botch it. I don't even know if I have it right. It's called like Bashara, or Bashara. I don't know. It's a Indian word, maybe. I don't know. I saw it from or Middle Eastern or something. I don't know. I saw this guy on YouTube, and he called it out. And it's like someone who is comfortable or has the ability to talk about the extremes and do so like the things that are just not table talk per se. And I think that those are the most fascinating people. I strive to be them, but they're almost perceived as martyrs. And I think that that's very interesting that society has allowed that to happen, because that really stifles creativity, it really stifles ingenuity, and the ability to maximize the gains from whatever you're working on. You know, and you know, we see this time and time again. It's like the age-old question, and we'll even relate it to soccer: Messi versus Ronaldo. And what is that conversation? It's program versus like nurture. What can you work on versus what are you gifted with? And many people will want to pick sides or want to see themselves as something, and ultimately it's always going to be a combination of both. And you have to learn to balance that. And I'm glad that those guys stand as symbols. It's quite fascinating to see that play out, but you know, I think society will tell you consistently because of the rules about society, which is like you can't be someone without experience. And I don't always find that true. I think that it's a combination, and everyone's got a different flavor. I watch the planets because they remind me of that structure that I desire, but ultimately you have to understand that astrology is both Messi and Ronaldo. It is both the Aquarius versus Leo, which is collective versus self. And you must realize nice shot. No problem. You know, like I'm very forgiving, you know, but like it's how do I put this? Like, you know, when you talk about Aquarius versus Leo, you talk about collective versus self. And, you know, that's why a lot of these Aquarius people will tie-dye their hair. I think they find it emotionally comforting for them when they can feel like they are making an impact for others at the expense of themselves and making themselves look non-uniform. Which is quite funny because the Aquarius is opposite of Leo, which is all about that personality. and about that individualism. So it's like it's funny how those two are perceived in astrology. But yeah, I definitely think that you know, in order to operate in this world, you have to have both. And you know, like America's forefathers set up that dichotomy with different party lines, but ultimately, it's not always two flavors. It's the combination of the flavors, and that's what gets things pushing along. You know. Not great. Look at that Messi kicking in. You know, and to see those play out, it's like that's the difference between Ronaldo and Messi here. It's like Messi is that creative type, and the only reason why he is good is because he's got teammates to stick up for him, to allow him his creative potential. And he is a nobody without them. And the same way Ronaldo is nobody without people like Messi, because if you're just all procedure, then the game is going to look really boring, isn't it? The game is going to feel like that ball just goes in circles and circles, and it's the same plays over and over again. There's going to be nothing unique about the game. You know, cool, you can do a bicycle kick, but can you dribble past all those opponents and make something happen? And that's where the ultimate combination, it's like there is no Messi without Ronaldo, and there is no Ronaldo without Messi. And those two are brothers, spiritually speaking. And these are all very loose interpretations, because it's not like Ronaldo isn't creative. It's not like Messi's not professional. But you know, it's like if you've got different types of office types. You know, you got people who want to live in a cubicle, and you've got others who want to open floor plan, and you need to accommodate to both, because without it, stimulation doesn't flow. You tie up the energy if you want to pick a side. But you still have to make a choice, because that's what the game does. You know, it's my mom has the ability to perceive emotions immediately and on the scene. If she's at a funeral, she can cry. And I don't know many other people who are like that. I think she is one of the bravest women out there because she has that ability. And it touches my heart every time when I see her able to express emotion in the exact time it should be expressed. And it almost feels synthesized because it's just like, aren't you in shock? Aren't you in like she has such an ability to live in the moment, and I bless her heart for it. And my dad, he's the exact opposite. He works his butt off, and he puts his nose down, and he grinds, and he's a very hard man to open up, but he also opens up other people's emotions. And you know, he's a salesman type, and that's his job. And so I think that, you know, there's equal parts to that society where, you know, you gotta express both. So never draw yourself short. Never paint yourself as a specific type. You know, unless it's for the greater good, and you can withstand holding that boundary and reserve that everyone is going to have that judgment on you, and you need to stick up and own your suit of armor that you have. Whoa, my goodness, I just got disorientated. Vertigo. Thought my car was painted. Thought my car was positioned backwards. It's probably because I'm playing as yellow. You know, and it's funny, I identify more with the blue car than I do the yellow car, and I struggle to find a color for the orange, tint, and I've gone from pink to yellow, and I cannot decide. And I find that fascinating, that I connect more with one car versus the other, and that Rocket League will limit my choices in color. I both find that cathartic and confusing and programmed and just like all of these weird things, and it's like, oh, how come I can't pick green? How come I can't pick all these other things? And it's like, well, you have to make a choice. And most people are going to choose something, you know, and you know, you can't avoid picking that orange car, right? Even though that may not be your favorite color, you have to live with that choice. Just scored for him. Beautiful shot. I so pretty. Nice shot. And look at that, I just fricked up their energy by doing that, didn't I? Sorry about that. Do you want me to lose? Energetically, I got ahead of that guy right there. Not my intentions. I really wanted to give him a compliment, but I guess that came at the expense of him giving me a goal. Why didn't I try harder to save that? I'm just letting the play out. I'm being relaxed. Minnow washed. Pup dog. What else are we playing? Gucci Goat Man. Look at Puppy pulling his energy out of that one. I was like, if I miss this, then I am really bad at talking about everything I learned and everything I practiced, which is pull that cardinal energy. Do you see how I took off that boost right before I went for that shot? You know, a split second, half a second or something of lack of boost, maybe even a quarter second. I don't even know. But that's what cardinal energy should be all about. It's like you feel passionate. It's about something, right? And maybe you're wondering what cardinal is. Cardinal is the initiator modality of the zodiac. They are the beginning of all of the seasons, right? And if you pull it back, pull back your energy right as you need to, then you're gonna find that a lot more hits will connect, right? Because if you're chasing that hit, if you're chasing that passion, that desire, you're gonna end up crumbling on the own weight of your success. Look at that guy, Minnow. Just pulled back right when he needed to. Perfect example of what I just talked about. He could have bumped me right here, and he decided not to, but hung in there with that energy flow, ensuring that it would get there, but trusting that it would happen. Let him bang that to the side. We don't even care. Knowing exactly what's going to happen to that ball before it happens, right? Not exactly when, you know, if I can stay ahead of it. Expecting me to carry that ball there. Okay, teammate just went AFK. Pulled the energy out. It's alright. No, it's not. Nice shot. Very nice shot. Nice shot. Let's see this replay here. Beautiful. Ah. Once again. Beautiful. Now there's no karmic deck to be used because I'm spamming those compliments for my own personal gain, and that's inappropriate. It's again Cardinal pulling back his energy. I don't know if you call that mutable or cardinal. Probably a combination of the both. Because you're not fixed, you're trying to make choices, right? Maybe fixed signs are the weakest in the higher ranks. I don't know. Either way, it needs to be sorted out. Just great gameplay, everyone. Except everyone's gone. Okay. Well, that may be true. Well, I have done my fun and work at the same time, I guess. And I have other endeavors I have to move on with my life for at least today. And I know I'm trying to get you guys some steady content. It's a weird configuration for me. It's like, do I want to go hard on this, or am I just doing this for relaxation purposes? Is this more cathartic for me? Is this what I'm seeking? And I don't know. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies, and it's hard to know who we are deep down. You know, we talked about this earlier, like, who are you going to be in 10 years? You don't know. You can try to plan, you can try to be someone you want to be, but ultimately life throws you on such a path. Where was I 10 years ago? Maybe it's more or less the same than I am now. But I like to think that I am more in tuned and connected with my spirituality, which also makes me a target. But sometimes you have to defend yourself, you know. And sometimes you have to work things out, you know, like that's kind of what I'm doing here in many factors. It's like I'm doing that goofing around, trying to figure out who I am. And I think people shouldn't be criticized for not knowing who they are before others do, but at the same time, it's like a combination. You have to both steer the wheel and let the wheel steer you. Anyways, I know that's weird. Probably really making people uncomfortable, which is why I won't get any subscribers, and I know that for a fact. And one of you cocksuckers will prove me wrong, but life is a bunch of curveballs, so. Alright, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for this time. This game has been wonderful. I don't know what's going to happen to me in the future, whether I'll continue or not. I know that I enjoy change, but I also know that I'm a rocket demigod, so who knows? Who knows? Alright, we're done here, guys. Thank you, and have a good one.